In this conscious conversation, I sat down with my dear friend and soul sister, Christiana Behnke Simmons, to talk all things inspiration, energy, and how she strives to change the world, supporting others in creating a healthy lifestyle through water, dance, and more. Enjoy this very special World Traveler edition live from Oahu, Hawaii. Aloha, everyone, and welcome to your podcast for Joyful Serenity. My name is Pia, and I am grateful to be a part of your journey in becoming. Well, as you can hear, I'm not alone today, and we're already having a lot of fun. So, aloha, everyone, again to this wonderful podcast episode. And it is a really, really special one because I have somebody here today that is very important to me. And we share a lot of things. Right now, we're sharing a glass of wine. Cheers. Right here. Cheers. On Oahu, Hawaii, which is the place where she lives right now, where she chose to live with her family. And this beautiful woman is originally, like me, from Germany. She was born in Hamburg, so she is a Hamburger-Dern. Mm-hmm. This is a very special thing. So there are not a lot of people who are Hamburger-Dern, but you are one. And we met at one of the events that she and her lovely mama created in Germany. So she is the creator of the Love to Dance Camp, former Latin Dance Camp. She is a specialist in health and inspiration to many, a very, very successful dancer, dance teacher, and a loving mom of 4 beautiful children. And one of them is my godson, by the way. And also married to an amazing husband who I appreciate so much. And yes, we will have probably some switches to German today. You get a lovely mix. Yes. And yeah, so without further ado, I would love to introduce you to my lovely dear friend, Christiana Behnke Simmons.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Nice to be here. Very special moment, as Pia already said, and I'm so honored to be here and speaking, enjoying a nice wine after a wonderful day that we just shared together. And I'm just excited to share that with all of you. And
yes, yes, absolutely. In this conscious conversation, which we're having, I always love to ask my guest, what are like the 3 topics that you would like to talk about, share your experience, or just what is it that moves you? And she thought about it for a moment and really wanted to get into what it is that drives her. And there are 3 things that we are going to dive a little deeper today. One of them is energy. Mm-hmm. The other is inspiration. And the third is health and a healthy lifestyle. And I personally connect all of these things with you. First and foremost, an inspiration. When I saw you dance at the Love to Dance former Latin Dance Camp, I just thought, oh my God, what a woman, what an energy, I couldn't even speak to it, but I was so amazed. And we just had a little talk about our first meeting when we sure did. Yes. That was fun. Anyways, however you want to start, maybe with the camp, how this started, and just.
Yeah, I mean, the camp itself is a whole ball of energy and inspiration to many. So that kind of sums up a lot of what we're probably going to talk about today. It's kind of like a birthing event of so much that has brought us together and has brought so many people together and just connected those roads and dots to each other. But yeah, I mean, I love to dance, as Pia already mentioned.
So where are your roots? How did you start? How did this all started?
This started where we are today, where it started here on the islands of Oahu, when I was 2.5 years old. So I started dancing hula, beautiful keiki hula dance, and hula hands. And yeah, ever since then, dance has never left my life. It was always a part of mine. saved me through a lot of rough times and brought me back to life. And I don't know where I would be without it. So I've learned a lot through dance. A lot of rooting, a lot of culture, a lot of respect, a lot of knowledge.
What was one of the most important learnings maybe you got from dancing?
Oh, there's so much.
What comes into mind? Just like, I know this is a spontaneous question. We have not talked about any any questions or schedule here. So,
I think just a true respect for culture is what I get from dance, especially having danced so many different dance styles. I've danced Polynesian, African, Latin, hip hop, classical ballet, jazz, modern tap, flamenco. So like being able, or even belly dance, being able to discover and appreciate all those different dances and see how every culture kind of intertwines and connects to this global language. It's a body language. So you can connect through dance with anybody around this planet. And now through social media, even more. I mean, we have TikTok with all these fun little dance routines, but going back to the culture of a dance, you really know, you learn a lot about respect, about appreciation, about energy on what you're actually telling people. Because to me, coming from a Polynesian background, dance is storytelling. It's a language of the heart. So if you're able to feel that and express that, people will be able to feel that as well. So it's not just a two-step performance. There's so much more to dance.
Absolutely.
And a lot of dancers out there, they just want to be cool, which is fine. Like, you know, they want to show off. That's fine in their world. But I've learned for myself now, kind of being a seasoned dancer. I'm not in my 20s anymore, which is fine.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. But with that, you know, there's a lot of experience coming in. And I've learned at a very young age that it's not about competing. It's not about perfection. It's not about ambition. It's about feeling and understanding and transporting that message through energy. And
this is exactly what I felt when I came to the camp the first time, and I took your Nana dance class. So a class that you would bring songs together that you chose with different styles and different steps that were easy to follow for everybody. And I just felt exactly what you just said. So the energy that you would transport from your heart to the people. And this resonated so much to me from the first moment, because this is also how I teach. And you know, I mean, after that, things just happen, people, okay? So if you know Nana, if you know me, you know, things happened.
We've exploded on stages.
Yes. Oh, we did. Yes.
Fun times.
So yeah, and it brings me to exactly also what you said, to this energy part. So dancing is, of course, one of the energies. I think we both agree on energy is everything, and everything is energy. Energy is life. So what brings you energy besides dance?
Nature. Big time. Going back to the roots and just being barefooted somewhere on the ground, rooting myself, feeling that energy from the source, from your surroundings. And if there's something calm where you don't have all that hectic city vibe around you, and you can just ground for a second and tune out and kind of like enhance your senses, that recharges me. Like being able to hear more clearly, like not just what's directly next to you, but try to hear like 3 levels deep and see what's going around. Is that one bird, or is it 5 different birds? And is there a wind blowing right there? Is there a river? You know, like, are there branches cracking? Of course, you'll hear the kid crying somewhere, but like feeling all those noises and just going deeper into your vibration of perception and your energy feels. Like, how far do you go? Like, it's kind of like, how far can you hear is almost how far your energy can go. Like, how much can you grasp and touch at the same time? So being out in nature kind of gives me that practice and also that opportunity to expand my energy field and grow again and recharge my batteries, especially, being at home with 4 beautiful, beautiful kids and our little fur baby. And
oh yeah, you just have a little dog now too, because that's not enough. Yeah, she's lovely too.
No, I love my kids. I love my family. I love my husband. But of course, being able to reset and just calm your mind and have his thoughts on your own is something that's very important. And I think a lot of moms, especially these days, we forget that. So nature gives me that opportunity. So whenever I need a break, I'll go to the beach. I'll go to the forest. I'm at the beach.
That's an insider, but it's funny too.
I'll go into the forest. I'll just need my nature time. And
that's so good. And thank you so much for sharing. And I think this is really important for all the moms out there, not just for all the moms, but anybody. Really specifically, like if you have kids. I have so many beautiful ladies in my surrounding and friends now who have kids. I don't, but I always admire so much like how like you literally carry your heart out of your body after you give birth, right? Yeah. So you take so much care of others that it's such a huge challenge, like just to take care of yourself. And please, if there is anything that you take away from this episode, please allow yourself this space. I just took Nama out of her home for 36 hours on a little trip, and it's so important.
It is.
It's so important.
You kidnapped me into mommy break.
Yes, kidnapping into mommy break. Yeah, and amazing. How like. You've been, there's so much to talk about, but we don't want to make this episode 5 hours long. Also, we want to go to sleep at some point.
We'll make multiple episodes.
Yeah. Part 1.
Right.
So, yes, we just said we met each other at the camp, and you told a little bit about how your dance started on Hawaii and how you've traveled through all of this. So, knowing you're also coming from Germany, I know that at the camp where we met, you also said you wanted to travel the world with dance. So maybe you can dive a little bit into how did dance and how did all of your life bring you where you are now on Oahu, Hawaii?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up traveling a lot. My mom loved to travel. So I was kind of born with that gene of just exploring the world. Born in Germany, raised on Oahu, Hawaii for the first 4 years, then moving to Spain, and then moving back to Germany. Being raised in those different cultures and always being inspired by dance, you get to know a lot of different dance cultures, because not every country dances the same. But then throughout those years, my mom, a single mom of myself and my sister, she did an amazing job keeping up, raising us and doing everything she possibly could to support our talents. And she supported me in dancing and my sister in singing. And so she just created workshops. So it was inviting a choreographer, a dance teacher, and creating workshops. And same for my sister with singing. But long story short, we combined all of our forces once I was an adult and teaching multiple classes and all of my experience. And the amazing idea of creating our dance camp came to life after being a Zumba teacher for a couple of years and seeing the need to go deeper into dance cultures and experience more of that knowledge and help other instructors become greater at what they already are. But at one point I was like, I'm still single. Back then I was.
Back then.
I have no kids. And yes, we're setting up this major camp, but with a Wi-Fi connection, we can organize this from wherever. So if I want to see the world and experience the world, I have to do it now. And the best way to travel for me was to do it by dance. So I literally dissolved everything that I had in Hamburg, gave all of my classes away. I had about 20 at that time. And just took my mom with me and we went on the road. So we've experienced so many different countries. We went all through Europe on an RV road trip. We went to California because my sister had moved to California, but then to San Diego. I was able and honored to join an incredible dance team called Taupo Samoa, Polynesian halau. Halau is the word for a dance troupe or dance home in Hawaiian. And we collaborated with another halau in California, and we went to Tahiti and Bora Bora.
Wow. Which
was such an honor to be part of. Just to be dancing on those sacred grounds. And there's this one moment that I have to share. We came to Bora Bora during our trip, and we were always taken care of by locals, families. They took us in, they cooked for us, and they sang and danced for us, and they played their music. So when we came to Bora Bora, we were in this church where we basically camped at.
Yes.
But when we arrived, they were playing their Tahitian drums and dancing for us. And we were sitting on this sandy ground. And I remember how I could feel the vibration of the drums transported through the sandy grounds into my body. And it was just such an incredible experience. Speaking of energy, that just gives you a whole different appreciation for music, for culture, for dance. That richness is just unbelievable. It's nothing that you normally experience with pop music or anything. Of course, there's great, amazing music and tracks, but feeling that vibration, being transported through those sacred grounds into your body, that's just like an outstanding experience. And that's going to always be part of me, part of my journey. Yeah. So that was really a truly wonderful blessing to be part of. And even dancing we were the only U.S. team that ever was allowed and invited to dance at the Tahitian Heva, which is the competition season. It's super sacred. And in Bora Bora, we were the only American team ever performing there. And they've been performing on those grounds for over 1,000 years. So that was a super special moment. Honor. Such a special moment. And that gave me such a deeper respect for that. It's just hard to put in words, but the Polynesian dance culture has a lot of richness that is in our society not seen or learned about, but it taught me a lot. So taking that on, having always like a background in a roots to go back to California, I eventually met my husband there, my now husband. And of course, we always went back and forth to Germany whenever we had our camp. So invited my now husband to teach at the camp. I was just taking his classes in California. He taught amazing classes at Culture Shock Dance Studio. And I just enjoyed them for almost a year and went to Germany. He taught at our camp. I supported him on stage because usually we have like lots of teams supporting each other in group settings on the camp. So he was just alone. He was like, "You want to join me?" And I'm like, "Sure, okay."
And everybody saw the energy between you, but you didn't.
Nope.
Everybody was like, "Oh, is this Nana's boyfriend? Are they a couple?" And you were like, no.
I was like so still in business mode. And it's crazy because we hadn't rehearsed anything, not one single step, not from the warm up to the choreography. I learned everything while he was teaching it on stage. And people were just like, "When did you have time to rehearse?" And I was like, "We didn't.
We didn't."
But there was just magical connection and chemistry, and we were just able to read each other so well. Again, body language.
Yes.
It was just a language that we both knew how to speak very well, and it just connected and intertwined. And
I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was there. I saw it. It happened.
Yep. So it took me a couple of days. He already knew on the event that I was the one for him. But once my business brain shut down after the camp, I was able to process what was going on and the feelings took over. And 5 years later, We've spent almost 4 years in San Diego together. Have 2 wonderful children of our own by now, and then 2 that he had adopted already beforehand. So we have a total of 4 kids. Last year during crazy times, we just decided to let go of everything in San Diego and move to Hawaii. And here we are today.
And wow, this is I'm so blessed and so happy that I get to record your story on tape and to have it because I feel the world needs to hear this, all of this, how you've been traveling, how you've been dancing, how this culture has enriched your life, how dance has done so, how energy speaks louder than words. Mm-hmm. And also now that you're here on Hawaii and with your family and that you made a decision, a very courageous decision, if I may say so, in these uncertain times, to make the decision for your family and for yourself to go. What was it like going back to sacred ground how would you describe it? Like the decision to go to Hawaii, to move to Hawaii?
It was a dream that ever since 3 years ago, my husband visited Hawaii for the first time. It was kind of like a dream. Yeah, in a couple of years, we'll move here. Once we'll settle a little bit more financially, whatsoever, we'll move to Hawaii. And, years go by, you keep on working, you're in the same cycle, everyday life just takes over. And 2 years later, the dream was still there, but, life just completely changed. All dance studios shut down. We pivoted within 3 days and created our own online platform. Started online streaming our classes, making them available for download.
Which you can basically, sorry for that, still download and dance with them. They together as a couple and also all by themselves are incredible dance teachers, and even virtual, it doesn't matter. I will put the links for the We Dance Online into the show notes. So please do yourself a favor and get those classes. Thank you. Keep going.
Thank you so much. WeDanceOnline.com is our little online dance studio baby that was born in 2020. And I'm just so grateful for it because it gave me a lot of growth, a lot of inspiration, a lot of fears that I have overcome, a lot of challenges that we've been wanting to do for years. And
for example, what challenges, what fears, if you may share?
I mean, technology is a big one.
I think many of us can relate to this.
Technology was definitely one of those things like, what the heck? Where to start? There's so much. I don't know what to do. But the magic behind it is just do it. Just start somewhere and
just do it. Please repeat. Just do it. Write it down. Just do it.
Just start small. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's how we started. I mean, all we did was create a Zoom account, and we have a platform here in the US. It's called Venmo. It's kind of like a PayPal, but more personal and without fees. So I had students Venmo me the classes. We had a Zoom class. We set up my computer, and I had a camera next to the computer. So I was just recording every single class that we streamed on Zoom. And so I just created that portfolio right away. And at the same time, I was trying to manage, which platform would be best to put it on? And I asked a few of my friends who were a little bit more techie than I was. And they're like, okay, use this format. I'm like, okay, I'll do so. Set it up somewhat, just put the first classes on there, put my first picture on there, put the first info on there. And then once time went by, I felt like certain twitches still needed to be made. I was still doing a lot on my own, people wanting to join last minute to class. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. We have to start in 2 minutes. And still paying through Venmo. And I'm like, okay, we have to switch this. So just doing my little search from there and finding other platforms where people could purchase tickets, receiving the link all automatically taking all that weight off of my shoulders and being like, okay, whew, if somebody wants to jump in, they can. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. But I didn't start that way. Like it's literally starting. It's a process. Just starting. And once you hit that next hurdle, figure out how to manage that and either use it or maneuver around it.
Beautiful. And I think this is also a huge takeaway that I really, really can send out like to all of you who are listening right now. Please, please know that exactly what Nana just said. This is life. Life is about starting and failing forward, right? So you just do, and then something works. Something doesn't work like you want it to work, and you find a solution for it. So it goes step by step. Ooh, baby, gotta get to you, girl. Yeah. So sieht das aus. So this is how it goes. Yeah. All right. So then you have We Dance Online. So, all right. So you did that in San Diego. It's still up and running. So everybody who wants to dance with you can enjoy your classes. Yes. So what happened then?
What happened then?
We're still on the move.
We're still on the move. Studios didn't open. Well, they slowly did, but we kept on doing our own thing. So we started teaching outdoors. My husband used to work with people with special needs. So we'd take care of them during the daytime. And then in the evenings, we would teach our classes. His hours got cut down. And there was no real strings attaching us to San Diego anymore. Everything that was like, we have to be loyal to them. We have to be loyal to this. We can't just leave them alone. And through that phase of isolation, we kind of filtered out what was truly important to us as a family, without the distraction of the outside. Like, what is really important? What can we take? What can we leave? And since the major strings were capped, it was like, okay, if you wanted to go back in the field, that field is needed everywhere. Taking care of people with special needs, you need that everywhere. So that's not like a necessity to stay with this one group home. We can dance online now, wherever we are, so we can take that with us as well. And we're like, screw it. Let's just make this dream come true. And you did. We did. We had 6 weeks. 6 weeks to get rid of a 4-bedroom household. We sold.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, we are a little crazy. Thinking back.
It's true.
But we literally sold everything that we had because the shipping was not worth what we owned. So we're like, okay, we're getting rid of everything. And we arrived in Hawaii with literally 2 suitcases each. That was it. So we came to Hawaii, had to quarantine for 14 days because testing out or whatever wasn't an option back then. We had to quarantine into an empty house. No furniture. All we had was 2 suitcases each.
Wow.
So we literally had to order online from Target. It's a local store here where you can get like household wear and stuff like that. So we ordered some air mattresses. And started already ordering some furniture online, and it slowly all came together. And I mean, we were in quarantine for 2 weeks. So.
I mean, 2 adults with 4 children.
Yes.
2 toddlers. And I mean, how did you do it?
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, we just tried to make fun of it. Yeah. I mean, humor is the big part of it. Music, dance, playing games.
And making it an adventure, I guess, right? So this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, right? This doesn't happen all the time.
Definitely had enough time to put furniture together. That slowly rolled in. There was no, like, unopened box in the corner for months. No, it got done. So that just slowly developed and came together. But it was a crazy bonding time. I mean, it's not necessarily fun being trapped in a house with 4 kids that want to go out so badly. But we made the best out of it. And
another learning here. Make the best out of everything, even if everything is not the best. Thank you.
Keep the humor with it. That's definitely one thing.
Absolutely. This is also like an experience that I have made. It's just, you know, don't take yourself too serious. Don't take all of this too serious because, you know, this world, this life is like, we'll be over in a minute. We're so small.
Right.
And it's like, this is literally what this podcast is about. You know, we're dying anyway. So why not have fun?
Right. While we're
having. Yeah. Oh my God. Jesus. Okay.
Sorry for the depression note right here. No, we're having fun.
You know, I think this will be the hook. I might cut it out so we have a nice hook. Okay. All right. So just bringing it a little bit together. We just started, and now you're here, and you found this house on a wow. You're here. You made it happen, and so we talked about energy. We talked about an inspiration, like what you are and what you also bring to the world and to the table. And I can say not only through dance, but through every single action that you do as a human being. So when I see you interact with others, it's always with this aloha spirit. It's always with love. It's with joy. It's with gratitude and respect. And this is so amazing to me. And I'm very happy that I can be alongside you to experience this. And I'm very happy. And I have to cry now. I keep it for later. Okay. So knowing that, and I know that you're now here and you're not only serving the world with this inspiration, with dance, through your family life, but you're also choosing to help other families stay healthy, get healthier with your inspiration. So what are you doing right now? I know you're into something very important, so I would love for you to share it with the others.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only a healthy mindset, but we actually were blessed. We were blessed last year, right before we moved, with something that is so essential and that we forget a lot of times, how important it is. It's part of our body. It's a big part of our body that we could not survive with. We can survive without food.
By tummy? No.
We can't survive without food, but we cannot survive without water. And
cheers
to that. Water has been a huge key in our life, and I'll take a sip real quick. Nice sounds. Yeah, but not only one kind of water. We really were blessed by medical grade water that has changed our lives. It has improved my husband's diabetes. It has given us more energy, better skin, better digestion. Our kids, I mean, we have teenage kids, and we know how horrible teenage life can be with our skin issues, but we're able to minimize those with this water. And just all around being blessed with so many health improvements through the change of our water has been an amazing blessing to us. And not only us, we're on this journey, we've been able to share with many other families and seeing and hearing their results and them sharing those experiences is just I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And I do so every single time because it's such a blessing to have this source and sharing the knowledge about it that so many are so unaware of, how important it is which quality water you put in your water body.
And knowledge is power, right? So, and I think there's a lot of education that is still to be had about this thing. And it's called Kangen water, right?
Yes.
I love it, by the way. I do.
And you've only on day 2.
Yes. I tried it before for everyone who's listening, like 3-4 years ago. And I thought, like, when I drank it, it was like, how does this water how is it so soft that it feels like it just transforms into my tongue while I drink it? So that was something I really was like, So this is also like pH water. It's like a true alkaline water, right?
It's ionized, which means it's not chemically made alkaline like many bottled alkaline waters are.
Yeah.
It's energized. Speaking of energy, so it is.
The circle closes.
Exactly. We call it living water for a reason. It's microclustered, so it's super small. The molecular size is very small, and that's why you have that feeling of it going right into your tongue, because it does. Other waters just sit in your mouth, sit in your belly, are just making you feel bloated, and it's not going anywhere besides into the toilet at one point. But this water has the ability to actually hydrate us properly because it's so small, and it is energized with electricity, and that's how it's supposed to be. The word kangen is inspired by, I can read it from the bottle, sit on the back. The Japanese word kangen means return to origin. And the inspiration of this water was to make it as healing as possible, like nature intended it to be. There are very few sources of water on this planet that still have that natural, energized quality of water that help your body heal itself. And that's something that many of us had forgotten. We always rely on doctors, on medication, on certain things, but we forget that we've been given the power. We've been born with the power and the ability to heal ourselves. And
Amen. 100%. I'm on the same page.
And it's not only mentally, it's physically as well. But it does matter what we put into it to help our body heal itself.
Yes, yes, yes.
The more crappy foods we put in it, the more crappy water we put in it, we're not building a healthy foundation for our body to be able to do those things.
Yeah, and not just exist, but excel, like really, just actually really living our best lives. Like, of course we can settle for less. We can always do that, right? Yeah. But like knowing there's so much more possible. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, and I'm a psychological counselor too. So I have my clients and working with them as a theta healer and as a coach. But like a lot of like the first questions I ask them is like, okay, so how much do you sleep? Mm-hmm. How much do you drink? What do you drink? Mm-hmm. And I just need these two informations before we talk about any other like specific things. This is enough for me. Yeah. So this is the first things I would talk to and like really say, this is a major game changer. Mm-hmm. Talking about sleep and talking about hydration, like proper hydration. And I know that this water is really, it makes such a difference. I love it so much. I'm the biggest fan. So if you have interest in really changing your water and changing your life, please contact Nana. I will put her Instagram into the show notes right here. So please, NanaDance24 on Instagram. Please just send her a private message. Say, hi, I heard your podcast episode on PS. Aloha, everyone. Just do yourself, your family, your health a favor and ask about this, because it will literally change your life.
It sure will. Our bodies are made of 70% water.
Yes, and why 70%? 70%. I always tell it to my students, and I think like, why don't we properly hydrate? Why do we always put shit into our bodies?
Like how do you believe you're going to be able to survive or live
and thrive, not only survive, right?
But like that's the thing. Most people are surviving. They're not living, they're surviving. Mm-hmm. And their bodies are lacking that. We live in a generation where especially here in the States, we have a lot of diabetes, we have heart issues, we have cancer. I mean, cancer is a global issue that we have everywhere. And the root cause of cancer is an acidic environment in our bodies. So if we eat acidic foods, acidic drinks, acidic water, which most bottled waters are, guess what? You're not giving your body the tools to stay healthy. It's going to grow those cancerous cells. It's up to you to make those changes of improving what you put into your body. I always call my body my temple.
It is what it is.
It is my temple. And I don't allow anybody to come in without permission. And I don't put anything in there without permission. I used to get on my husband's nerves. When we first started dating, I took hours in the grocery store. Coming from Europe to the States, the food regulations are way different. But yeah, in the States, there's a lot of stuff in the food that we should not be eating
or drinking,
because it makes you sick.
Yes.
but a lot of people don't know.
And what you don't know, you don't do.
Right. And I'm not mad at anybody. All I can do is, I know about it now.
Educate.
So I'm educating and sharing my knowledge about it. But when we first started dating, man, he got so mad at me because I was literally reading every single label. And we would spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in the grocery store just getting groceries. But I wanted to make sure I know what is going into my body. So if I want to stay healthy, I have to do the work to make that happen. I can't rely on anybody else to make that change. Like putting crappy stuff in my body and then running to the doctor and saying, hey, my body's sick. Who did it?
Yeah.
The doctor didn't.
It's our responsibility.
It's our responsibility of taking that initial step and making sure you are aware, you are conscious about what you're putting in.
The choices you're making. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I think not also being conscious about the choices, but what we all talked about now for the last minutes, for being conscious about your health and taking responsibility. Same with inspiration. Make sure that you take responsibility for your inspiration, right? Don't wait for inspiration, but search inspiration. And besides that, energy, be very responsible for energy, what energy you take in, what energy you take out. And also I really love, there's a saying you are the whatever of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. I don't really, I'm not really with that, but I'm absolutely with the term of be careful and be very aware of the circle that surrounds you. Yeah. Yep. So this is an experience that I also make all the time because I'm traveling a lot. I'm in a lot of circles, but fortunately, these are good circles. And if I feel that there is something that doesn't nurture me, that doesn't support me, this will not get into my circle. Mm-hmm.
And that's super important. You are what you become. And in order to make those conscious choices, energy is super important. And if you are lacking inspiration, if you're in a hole of depression, and I've been there many times, the only thing that gets you out of there is if you search for people that inspire you, for sayings that inspire you. Even going out in nature inspires me, like seeing the sunlight. The sun always rises.
Yes. Even if she's behind the clouds, she's always there.
So there's so many ways to see inspiration everywhere. And it really matters what you put in your energy field. We've, throughout the years, especially being dancers, and we teach a lot of hip hop. These days, the music is not always the nicest, not always the healthiest energy to be surrounded. So we've been really selective in what we want to teach with.
Awesome.
Music is a huge key. It's not only your body going through it, you're hearing it, you're digesting it, you're bringing it back out. So if you're taking that in, music, sounds, frequencies, everything is so important.
Everything is important.
When we go to sleep now, we put on healing frequencies. We put abundance frequencies. Whatever we're seeking to improve ourselves, to raise our energy levels, we choose those frequencies.
Beautiful.
And that counts also for our friends. We have a lot of people that we know, but we have a selective circle of people that we consider our friends. Just because we want to have a stability for ourselves, for our kids.
Yes.
We also want our kids to see people that they will look up to. Everything that we put into our family is an influence on them. So we have to be mindful.
So powerful.
We have to be mindful on who we let into our home. And our home is not only our physical home, it's our personal body home.
Absolutely.
And it just matters in every single way, from food to people to
very
news,
careful
music.
What you put in absolutely into your system.
Yeah.
I love that. So last but not least, I would like to ask you a question. Yeah. So if you could have a big billboard that would be all over the world in the language of the country where it would stand, and you would have 24 hours, with a message that you put on that billboard, so everybody in that country would read that billboard, what would you put on there?
Oh my. Can I have multiple? No, just kidding.
What comes first? There's no right or wrong.
Yeah. Be mindful and use your energy to make a difference in this world.
Be mindful and use your energy to make a difference in this world. Ahu.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you so much, my love. We will hug after we stop the recording. Thank you so much for being here today. It meant the world to me. And I know that this will be a huge inspiration for so many who are going to hear this episode. And I cannot wait for all the things the universe has in store for you, for your beautiful family, for me, for us, for the whole universe, for the whole audience. Thank you all for listening to this episode. Please make sure to follow Nana Dance 24 on Instagram. As I said, I will put her contact here for you into the show notes. You will find her on Instagram. Please DM her for more information about the living water experience, how your water can change your life. And also, if you want to dance with her and her lovely husband, David, you can do so at wedanceonline.com. We will put it into the show notes too. And if you have any questions on her journey or for me, as always, just give us a message. Yeah. So take care. Any last words from you, my love?
Just much aloha from the islands. Aloha has so many meanings and it's an energy and powerful word. So
aloha, everyone. Aloha, everyone.